Hey, it's the Brian and Kindra Show.
I was so going to beat you and do it this time.
Were you? But you didn't.
I know, but I was going to.
You were like, he paused. I'm going to jump in.
I was like, dude, it's me. I'm doing it.
Yeah. And then we're going to say the things that we're supposed to say.
What are the things we're supposed to say?
Practical tips.
Oh, right. Valuable insights.
And valuable insights.
That's us.
About local real
Your
estate
small
in Woodward.
market real estate.
Woodward, America.
Yeah, you talked over me. It's okay. I usually talk over you.
I'll be quiet.
No, not too quiet. It gets creepy. Just stop that.
Especially when you start about statistics and numbers.
Oh my gosh. Whenever I try to ask you for number things, like your eyes glaze over. And it's not because the same reason that my eyes glaze over when you talk about number things.
It's like numbers, bacon.
What did I ask you a while ago?
I don't know. You rambled about something over some number about something. And I was like, do you mean the list over sold ratio?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I used a paragraph for like a 4-sentence phrase. Yes. I can never come up with that phrase. It is never on my mind.
Yep.
Because, is that even today? No, we're not talking about that today. Anywho, so, you know what I want to talk about? Oh, you're going to need those. You're totally going to need your papers that you just threw off your desk. Just kidding, you're not really. But I wanted Nathan to get a chance to get on the camera. All right, so here's the deal, though. People ask all the time, do I really need a realtor? Why do I need a realtor? Why would I use a real estate agent? And so I wanted to talk about that.
Why do they cost so much?
Why do they cost? Why are you so danged expensive?
I know. You've seen the people I work with.
That's a small price to pay. It's me. No. Okay. So anyway, I wanted to talk about that. I want to talk about some reasons why I would work with a realtor because we had some fun stories this week. Can I tell them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, great. So last week, actually, we had a contract. We had the seller and we had the buyer, which is so much fun whenever that happens.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite game because I love to introduce them at closing. I just think it's really fun and exciting. Anyway, the buyer had to sell her current property. In order to do that, I'm sorry, I said that backward. Yes, the buyer had to sell her current property in order to buy her new one. But she wasn't using an agent for that particular transaction. Like it was a neighbor deal and it was easy peasy. And really, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was absolutely amazing. But because she didn't have somebody like really
knew the process,
who knew the process that was walking through the whole thing with her, man, we got down to the wire to close ours. And I said, hey, when are you scheduled to close your other one? I'm going to schedule the same one. She goes, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? So I messaged the closing company and I said, hey, I'm not a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that. But when are they scheduled? I need to schedule ours. And they said, oh, well, they're not ready yet. And we went, what?
What?
Because this had been like a really long transaction.
Yeah, call the bank.
And so we called our buyer in and we visited with her and we helped her to run through the hurdles that she needed to double check. Are they ready? Why they're not ready? What do they need to do to get ready? And really, they were ready. There had just been a lack of communication somehow, somewhere, which made me feel a lot better.
Yeah, I was a little panicky.
I mean, communication is key, and I do try, but sometimes I fail. So it was like, sweet, it wasn't even me this time. Anyway, we got it done, and I think that she was able to see the value of us, not just as her buyer's agent, but even then to go, oh my gosh, just to have the extra value and knowledge of the process to help her to finish her part on the other.
Right.
I think it's great.
And then have the advocate. So when we did our final walkthrough.
Right.
There were some things that just popped up at the end that, broken glass in the garage door, scratches on the hardwood floors,
right.
A faucet that was broken in the back, the gate wouldn't open in the back. So like all those, they weren't like major things. You're buying a used house.
Right.
But none of them were in the inspection. All of them were kind of hidden.
Not hidden by the seller.
On purpose.
Just like furniture hides stuff.
Right. And the garage door was up. So you didn't,
right.
I think we knew the garage door window was broke, but I couldn't even notice it hardly. But nonetheless, we bounced through all those, got them all fixed at the day of closing.
Okay. So those are I feel like that's kind of just this fast little why use an agent, but I want to really dive into that just a little bit, why you would want to use a realtor. And I think the first things first is what we just noted, that your real estate agent, your realtor acts as a guide for the process. the process can be kind of crazy. We have a buyer right now, and he teases. I mean, he knows, he calls every couple of days and just says, "Hey, how's it going? Everything's good." It really is. At this point, there's nothing for me to report. And so, like Saturday, he called on Saturday and he goes, "I'm really sorry. You probably hate me, but I wanted to tell you this one thing about our contract." Like, he's just involved, and it's amazing. Not all buyers are that involved. Not all sellers are that involved. And so sometimes it takes a lot more prompting from you and I to make sure that we are where we need to be in the process and to get where we need to go. We want to get from the contract to the closing. And that's what we do. We get us there.
Yes.
So we act as an expert guide. I know we're supposed to be your local real estate expert, but I hate using the word expert. You're going to find me fail.
Hey, we're not all perfect.
We're not, but we do know this game, and we're
do.
good at this game, and we enjoy this game.
Yes.
Or I do.
Most of the time. There's a few days I'm like, oh my gosh, why'd I do this?
So we're going to be your guide. That is one of the main reasons that you would want to use a realtor, because we want to help to guide you through the process of buying or selling your home.
Yep. Well, and we use an Oklahoma standardized contract. So in our little notes here, it's like we use all these forms and disclosures. Like, for sale by owners don't always have to disclose correctly.
Right.
And so as we guide you through the paperwork, guide you through the disclosures, guide you through the legal, guide you through the financials, there's a lot to buying a house.
Right. So we have the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission has rules and regulations that we as licensees must abide by. In addition to that, we are actually realtors with a capital R. And so we have these NAR code of ethics that we also must abide by. And so we have a greater standard that we have to do in order to help you. And included in that are the property condition disclosures.
Right.
So that standard contract, so different story, another buyer, a friend of mine, her daughter is getting to move back home. How stinking exciting. They're in another small town close to us, but not Woodward proper. And so she messages, she said, "Hey, I really hate to use you for free advice." And she's actually, this is the second one this week. I don't know if I told you that. I had another one this week also.
Same. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so all that to say, for this particular instance, she said they found the home they want to buy. It's not listed. It's all private party from a seller to a buyer. There's no agent. Would you just kind of talk her through it and make sure that things look similar to what you would do there? And they did. I mean, it was all very similar to how we would do it. And so she and I, then the daughter texted me and she said, "What about this? What about this?" And so we visited just for a minute. And I think obviously she sees the value of an agent, because she called an agent and then said, because we joked about money a while ago, "What can I pay you for your help?" Well, nothing this time. There'll be another time.
There'll be another time. Yeah, there will be a time.
So obviously she could see the value of that, but it goes back to knowing paperwork, knowing what we do, knowing the steps that are involved, knowing what's typical. Is it typical for a buyer and a seller to pay their own contract fees? Is it typical for a buyer to pay their own survey, or would the seller pay the survey? Are all those things typical, or are they not typical? And so those were things that it helped her to have somebody to bounce off of. I think 100%, if we had been in that community, she would have said, "No, I want to use my realtor."
Yep, I believe you're right.
So, all right, next up, offer objective information and opinions. And that's exactly what I did even on this one yesterday. What are you laughing at?
I'll give you objective and you'll give you their opinion, right? That's how I read that.
That's not even true.
Wait,
Because I don't.
My opinion. Okay, never mind.
I know I'm opinionated. That is true. But whenever it comes to house shopping, I'm not like that.
True.
I mean, whenever we're looking at a property, I'm able to be objective and say, this works for this, this works for this. I also am able to say, do you have any concerns about this, that, or the other? Because if I see it, I have to, hey,
Right.
is this a concern to you? But I think we're pretty objective
Yeah, I think
when
we
we
are.
show houses.
Absolutely.
I think there are some
Again, it goes back
agents
to
that
we don't
struggle.
sell. We don't sell houses.
No, we don't.
We show them. We open their eyes. We give them options, ideas, solutions.
Right. We are relationship-based real estate.
Yes.
That is what you and I are. It's what we do.
Yep.
And so we don't sell a house. We help a buyer find a home. We help the seller get rid of their property.
Yes. Yes.
So, offering objective information and opinions. Um, this is just we need to be an unbiased eye to say, not, and it has nothing to do with whether or not it's a pink bathroom and purple carpet.
Yep.
I said that for my best friend's benefit. She'll be like, why are you always dogging on purple? But we can be a great source whenever they have questions. Like, I think even with colors, we are in the houses. And so we're able to say, man, gray's probably on its way out. And we're seeing a lot more of this neutral tan, brown color coming back in. So it is. That's what we're for, right?
Yes.
What's next?
So to extend your search power. Now, I really think we do this better than
this is
most.
you.
So this is where we have an MLS system. So we have opportunities there. So all the agents in town that have properties that they put on the market,
Right.
we have access to all of those houses. Then we have access to, any house. I say any house. Be careful
We
how I
don't
say
just
that.
break in.
We don't just break it. Hey, you want to look at this one? Yeah. No. But we also have we've probably been in almost every house in town, probably at some
Right.
point in time. And like there's houses that are for sale by owner. And if you're a buyer and you're nervous about dealing with the deal, we don't mind stepping in and helping you.
Sure.
If you know what you're looking for, I don't mind hunting it down and helping you find it. And then just the resources of knowing where all these houses are in town. So, hey, I
Right.
want something specific. I want a house with a pool. Well, it's weird. I have a list of all the houses in town that have pools in it.
Right.
In my office, we'll just call them all. No, but
We've done that.
We've done that. So it comes back to that power search, the availability of being able to search all of them, and then once we get to know you, or build a relationship, walking through houses, then it's like, hey, this house on Wheat Ridge might fit you. We may just need to put a shop in the backyard, or add on a bedroom, or rearrange something, or whatever. So
I want to just rewind, excuse me, just for one little second and go back to what you said about the first thing that we do with our search for our buyers is we look at what's on the multiple listing service. We cooperate with all the other agents in town.
Right.
And so we have kind of a collective group of listings on the multiple listing service, the MLS, and that's where we begin to search first. So seller perspective,
right,
the value of an agent is that we are part of that MLS,
right,
and that we want to work with other agents. Like there's this whole thing about being cooperative. Are you cooperative? Are you being cooperative? We try really hard to be cooperative. It is true. We sell quite a few before we get a chance to put them out there for the other agents. But it's not a slight to the other agents. It's just that we have people ready to get in a home.
The buyer said, hey, go find me this house, and we go find that house.
Right. So for a seller, though, the perspective of, okay, so they've got access to everything, and they're going to put it out to everyone and make sure that all the other buyers have access to my house. And then we do the scheduling.
Yep.
So we're still your main contact. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, you're not going to be talking to every 35 agents in town.
No. But then on this whole hunting thing, that if it's not listed, that you still know about it. And we realize that's not true for everything. But I've seen many other agents from other offices message you and I and go, hey, do you have anything in this price range coming up? Hey, do you know of anything like this? Like they know that we try so hard to find what our buyers need that they're willing to use you as a resource, even if they're competitive. So we call that co-optation or something because we're competitive, but we also cooperate, even in a situation like that.
Yep.
Value of an agent. We all really do work together. I stinking love that. I love that so much. All right. This one is totally you. Standing in the corner. Oh, wait, I said that wrong.
Yeah. Staying in your corner during negotiations.
Nathan's like, did she do it on purpose or not? It's hard to say.
I don't know. Whatever. Put me in the corner.
Nobody puts Brian in the corner.
It's me. I'm the one always stuck in the corner because I'm always in trouble.
We did put you in the corner office for a reason.
Because I had all the windows. Okay, so standing in your corner. It might be gone. Remember that one time?
Yes.
One time, like, okay, little caveat. Is that the right term?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yes.
Okay, one of our very first shows, we had Connie Rowland, and she was with Bank 7 at that time. Man, I love her, and I miss her like crazy. Her replacement has done a great job. Missy Thompson is doing fantastic at Bank 7. But okay, Connie was on the show, and do you remember we were doing a FaceTime or what is it called? A live Facebook Live.
Yes.
And so you got up to check it, but from my perspective, it really looked. It still makes me laugh. You say it. It totally looked like you had your face in the camera, and I freaking lost it for about 5 minutes. Like you go, oh, we just lost Kindra. Yeah. We came back from the break, and I was still lost. I couldn't get it back. Okay, that's what just happened. Okay, we're back, standing in your corner.
Yes.
Okay, so here we are, standing in your corner during negotiations.
Yeah.
It's the 5 hours you spend in the kitchen mastering your famous recipe or spending quality time with your family. Other insurance companies may just see it as a house. It's not just a house, it's your home. Hi, I'm State Farm Agent Kevin Kanzler, and I see your home as the time and memories you put into them. I understand what your things really mean to you, and I'm here to help give them the protection they deserve. My office is located on the corner of 13th and Oklahoma and Woodward, or call me at 580-256-2216 for your home insurance today.
OnPoint Land Survey can take care of all your residential, commercial, and industrial survey needs. This family-owned and operated business proudly serves Northwest Oklahoma. These lifelong Northwest Oklahoma residents with over 22 years of experience are ready to serve you with the latest equipment and capable trucks to get your job done. Call OnPoint Land Survey today at 580-256-6757 or stop by 1918 Main Street in Woodward, Oklahoma, or visit their website at onpointlandsurveyok.com. Professional, trusted, local.
I think this is tricky, and we might have a little disagreement here on the air. I don't think that we negotiate for you. I think we negotiate with you, beside you.
And we educate you on how to negotiate, what you want to negotiate. Hey, I want to be here at some point in time. Well, here's what we've seen in the past. Here's how some people negotiate. I think we do all that. Like if you want certain terms inside of your contract, we show you, we educate you on the best ways to get there.
Right. We do not, however,
but we don't say you need to offer
this.
Yeah.
We don't do that. And we don't tell our seller. Like, we have a seller that recently received an offer. Mm-hmm. And I 100% think that was the best offer they are going to receive. Mm-hmm. And they said no. And they wouldn't counteroffer. And I mean, if we could tell you what to do, we 100% would say, accept that offer, accept it now. We should be under contract.
Sign here.
But that's not our job. Our job is to educate you. Our job is to help you. It is not to negotiate for you. If we were to negotiate for her, I'd have had that sucker negotiated before you got back from your trip, because I know that was so good. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how long it'll be before I can get it again.
Right. And then we had the one where we're like, hey, it's exactly what we told you it would be for. Okay, let's counter them. I'm like, but it's exactly what I told you would get.
But what do I always say?
You're the boss.
Ultimately.
Oh, wait, no, he's the boss.
I mean, you are, but I don't like you to know. So we said, ultimately, you're the boss. And so that's what we did. We did what he said, and he got the price he wanted.
He did. It's good. And I still think it was a fair price. It wasn't like.
Oh, totally fair price.
I mean, our numbers, it was really close. But yeah.
It was all very, very close, within a very small percentage. Not a big deal. But so all that to say, if you're concerned and you don't know what to make your offer, we are happy to help give you some comps so that you can make a good offer.
Right.
But we don't tell you what that number is going to be.
Nope.
All right.
No, we do our homework and show you, hey,
heck yes.
So like we may have if you're a buyer and you're like, hey, where does this fit in the market? Well, we can show you. Like, obviously, if you go look at a house and you're like, man, this seems like it's like $30,000 overpriced. We can show you where it fits inside the market. Like, so we can do a market analysis on that house that you're looking to buy so that you know how to make your offer. Now, we're not going to come in and say, this shows exactly this house is worth $121,437.
I wish, but
no, but it'll come in and say, hey, 120 to 125 is a fair number. So
perfect. Okay. We also can ensure an up-to-date experience. I don't know how many times we've shown houses to brand new buyers and their folks who lived in their home for 50 years. And mom or dad will say, well, when I bought my house in 1978, and it's just not the same. No. Like, I mean that with 100% respect, because I kind of giggle at this point. Like, whenever I was younger, I thought, you don't understand. Now I kind of just laugh because they will understand. Once we get going, they'll see, oh, it's just different than it used to be. Yeah. Rules, regulations change. Things change. Markets change. And so we are up to date on that. And that's the value of using an agent, is to help you to know what's really happening in the market, what's happening with paperwork, what things need to be, and how to do it legally and the best practices. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Got anything to add?
Not to that. We are always in education. I always
isn't that the truth?
I like to study. I like to read things. I get all kinds of crazy emails, and I'm like, oh, and it takes me down all kinds of rabbit holes all the time.
Yes, it does.
And so I'm like, hey, but it's all this education and what's new. Like I didn't sleep the last couple of days, and so I spent like 2 hours researching which direction this interest rate's going to go.
And what's the verdict?
It's like 80%.
You don't really know.
I don't, but here's what, I mean, it's off topic, but it comes back to the research. Like they said, end of 2024, they're anticipating interest rates to be back to 5.5.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Which blows my mind. 80%, like 8 out of 10 of the review things I read.
That's awesome, because you can buy now and refinance later.
You can do that. And if and that means if things keep trajectorying like they're anticipating, the market will launch again.
Right.
End of next year. So holy cow, good
So we
seller.
really need
be ready if you're a
inventory.
buyer. If you're going to refinance, oh my gosh, what's this going to do for us? Oh my gosh, it's going to be awesome. We're just going to sell more houses
Okay, let's
and
do
continue doing it. So,
All right, so we're up to date. We know what's going on, and we are good at educating ourselves so that we can educate you.
yes,
Okay, this next one is our favorite. Brian can be your rock during your emotional moments.
but don't cry. I will go stand in the corner.
So this is where working together has been
Yes.
super beneficial.
Yep.
There has been one situation that I had to step back. Like there most of the time, if we have a crier, and I'm a crier.
You don't want me crying. It's not flying, and I want out. I'm just going to check out before I embarrass everybody.
But here's the deal. So what usually happens when somebody usually is emotional, it's because they've lived in their home for forever.
Right.
And they have to sell it, and they're sad. They don't really want to let it go. This is where mom and dad lived for the last 60 years, and they have all the memories. And man, I get it. I feel that sentiment, and I will hold your hand. I do not mind doing that, because I totally get that. I feel it with you. And that's what, I mean, we'll cry together, and then we'll get it done.
Yep.
But that's one of the things that we're there for. And I think sometimes we can help, not every time, but the majority of time, we can help to take some of that emotional burden so that you can just handle the business.
Right.
So
'Cause it
we
is
take
emotional.
the offer.
Sometimes. Yep.
It is. And then somebody offers. I remember my dad saying, now listen, sis, I want you to sell this house high because this is a good house and you sell it to a nice family. Da, 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 da. And I remember thinking, oh no, my dad is way too attached to this house. I can't pick out the buyer. Cannot. And I did list it higher than I wanted to because it's my daddy. And guess what? It sold where I told him it would. But the point is, whenever the offers start coming in, then I can prepare the speech to say, remember, this isn't personal.
Right.
This is business. And I think that's a major value, because unfortunately it does feel a little personal sometimes, and we can help to soften that blow and to get us all prepared. And you can yell at us, not your buyer.
Right.
And then you calm down.
And a
or
lot
vice
of the
versa.
time, it's just, things can be misinterpreted, definitely through text.
Absolutely.
God, they
Absolutely.
made that offer so low, they must hate us.
Oh, no.
Or, you know what, I mean, whatever. There's all kinds of, and just misinterpretation, miscommunication. And we in the middle to say, we're there. That's
Right.
part of this deal. We're going to slow the emotions down, and we're going to get into the business and
Yes.
focus on the deal, the transaction.
Definitely. All right. Provide fair and ethical treatment. I think this is probably the most important to me at this minute. We treat everybody the same. Everybody gets the same work ethic from us. We don't
Yep.
do one a little bit less work than we give another one. We give everybody all equal work. And we will sell for all of the people that are qualified to buy or sell.
Right.
And I think that's important.
Yes.
One of the things I didn't know, back in like the civil rights movement, did you know that NAR realtors were like on the front lines of changing civil rights? Did you know that?
It makes sense, but I didn't know that.
I didn't really either. I'd heard a podcast maybe about a year ago, and I was absolutely excited and impressed. And they take that, like, they haven't stopped. Like, they are continuing to be on the front line of, listen, people need to be treated as people, and quit looking at people as whatever diversity that they might be or might have. I'm not sure if I'm saying the words correctly. Please don't yell at me. I'm trying to be nice. I am nice, kind of. I really appreciated the podcast saying we as realtors, we need to show other people how to do this.
Yep.
And then we need to rise to the occasion. And so we have fair housing laws and we work by those. And we don't, I mean, even with something as simple as we have 2 bilingual agents in our office. If somebody comes in and they're bilingual, we don't immediately go, you probably want a bilingual agent. We don't do that. That's
No,
wrong.
that's wrong.
Right? And so, I mean, even something simple like that you think would be a great help, we let you as the buyer or seller decide what you need, who you want to work with, what house you want to look at. We're not going to tell you, don't look here, don't look here, look here, look here. Oh, no, that's not the neighborhood for you. We aren't doing that.
Right.
We're not doing that. Right?
Nope.
I think that's cool. I love that realtors were the forerunners in that movement.
Yep. And I think it is because, I don't know I can't remember what the motto is, but it's basically we want home ownership's our deal. We want
Right.
everybody to own a home. Everybody.
Yes.
So I always say that everybody that wants to own a home, we want them to own a home.
Exactly.
And because it's homeowners, it's stability and community and all of that.
Security, yes, 100%. So anyway, reasons to work with a realtor. So another quick story. So like it's been funny because I didn't actually see this show coming, but here it is. I think about a week ago, maybe 10 days ago, I had another text from a friend and they said, hey, my kid is selling their house over in the eastern part of the state. This is what the offer is, yada, yada, yada. What do you think? And my first response was, I do not know that market.
Yep. Not at all.
100% have no idea what that market is. Second, these are questions that I would ask. And she said, oh, well, that helps a lot. And they immediately were able to go back to their agent and ask those questions and get some more information. The agent knows what's going on. The agent knows what's going on.
Yep.
The agent in the market really knows what's going on.
That's right. I mean, I'm telling you. And it's as simple as I have 2 or 3 customers in Oklahoma City that are looking for houses now. And they keep calling me and I'm like, man, first of all, if you find a house you want, it's going to be nearly impossible for me to drop everything and get there fast enough to show you the house before somebody buys it.
Yes.
And then I may come down there and say like, oh my gosh, you should buy it now. And you pay $200,000 too much because I can,
Right.
I'm pretty fast at numbers and I can look up numbers and I can probably get you close, but I don't know. Don't buy this because it backs up to the Oklahoma City sewer pond.
Exactly. We don't know the areas
We don't know
the
the
same way
areas.
that we know these
Right.
areas.
So I think that, so your local realtor is the expert. We'll find one. You will
I
find
believe
somebody.
that wholeheartedly. So we had to sell my grandmother's house, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. Maybe it's been longer. I have no idea. And my dad said, how much? And so I priced it. I knew I could figure it out. Same thing. I mean, I knew the numbers. Back then I wasn't so spoiled by your Rain Man brain. So I knew the numbers. I got the numbers. I told my dad this is what the numbers was. My dad was like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Same thing happened to me. My grandmother's house in Oklahoma City, which is Bethany or whatever.
That was right across from my sister's.
Yes. And I said, I went down, they asked me the values. I did the numbers. I'm like, well, if this is in Woodward and based on these all things, here's what the thing's worth. And they were like, what? The other realtor said 25,000 more than that. And I was like, but it has shag carpet still. And it's paint peeling off and the home needs a roof. There's no way. Well, I didn't know the market. And then people were begging to be there. And they sold it in one day for $25,000 more than I said.
Hilarious. Well, my story is different. So I found a local realtor who did a great job, found a buyer really quickly. And it was kind of a fight because the house had so much deterioration. She sold it exactly what I said it would. And she did it quickly and she did it well. Yeah. With a little bit of work. But she got her done.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is I knew I needed to have that local agent.
Yes.
So I think